And welcome back to Scissor Man Warrior, and I'm excited today because we hit level 85, which unlocks the dark side battles. Now, why I'm excited about the dark side battles is farming. So I've got a number of characters I'd like to level up, but they require certain pieces. For example, Emperor Palpatine, I really want to level him up. I have the furnace pieces that I've earned through raids, and I've got the electrobinocular pieces, but I need these prototypes. And when you say find, it says you've got to go to either the normal 9B or you've got to go to 9A on the hard. And of course, you can't get to hard until you go through normal. So I've got to break through these. Well, of course, you can't do these battles until you're level 85 on dark side battles. You've got to get for 9, you've got to get to level 85 to even unlock them. So what I'm going to do is a two-part series, kind of like I did on the light side battles. The first dark side battles will be these first 4 nodes, and then the last will be the last 4 nodes. And so that way the video is not too long, but that way you'll get to see what you have to go against, how hard they are, what you're going to win, what you unlock as far as farming capability. And so that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so we're going to go through dark side battles. Now, I will admit, I have a much stronger light side lineup than I do dark side lineup as far as the quantity of characters I have to choose from. Now, I am confident that I have enough dark side characters we can get through these, and we'll go from here and see how we fare. Now, in this first slot, we, of course, need this Mark IV, the Armor Mod Salvage, and then this is going to come into play, the Mark X Blast Tech Weapon Mod Salvage. That will come into play with some of your characters. And then this Carbonti means nothing, really. You can get that earlier on. But these are all pretty cool as far as credits. They're over 1,300 credits now, so that's pretty good. And it looks like you're going to go against Night Sisters with a couple of bosses and then a few elites. So I'm not too concerned about Night Sisters. I know a lot of people that really love them, but I don't find them a threat. I guess we'll find out how strong they are as we battle along. So let's just go ahead and battle through these. And let's find someone. I was really hoping for a Captain Phasma in the 8,000s. So let's go back out and go back in. Well, there's a Count Dooku. That's a pretty good option as well. Hey, there's a Captain Phasma. So let's pick Captain Phasma, and then let's dump my entire squad. Now, I do want to run Emperor Palpatine as the lead. He's an excellent leader, and he's one of my best, if not the best leader in the entire dark side for me. And then, of course, I'm going to need a tank, so I'm going to bring in my Sun Fac. He's definitely maxed out. And then I got to bring in, of course, Darth Vader underneath Emperor Palpatine, plus Darth Vader's just tanky. It's very hard for him to die. He's not a tank, but he's very tanky. As far as like he doesn't taunt and stuff like that. And then I got to bring a couple of DPS characters, a couple of people who can put a lot of damage per second. So we're going to go ahead and go with my First Order TIE Pilot, and then probably let's go ahead and do Geonosian Soldier. I know he's got some synergy with Sun Fac, so that looks pretty decent. We have 3 DPS characters as Emperor Palpatine's DPS, and then we have a couple others. I'm not bringing in a healer, and that might end up being to my undoing. Definitely the bringing in Old Daka is how I survived in all the other battles, and so I might have to come back and pick her to finish these up, because really you may need a healer, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and battle through this. I didn't have Emperor Palpatine the last time I went through the dark side battles, so I struggled through. And again, because these are normal, you're going to have 3 rounds, and they'll get, of course, progressively harder with more characters involved. Now, I want to have Emperor Palpatine stun at round 3, so I can go ahead and use it in round 1. Not only will it minimize the amount of damage I take, but it will also be available through refreshes by the time I get to round 3. I'll also do the same thing with the taunt, and then let's go ahead and take these individuals out. Now, I do notice, first impression, they are they can take quite a bit of damage, much more than I'm used to them taking. but so far not so bad. I love the turn meter he gets with the shock. It's very nice. We're just going to work through. I am probably going to use a ton of basics. And that is Captain Phasma giving me all of those extra attacks. So that is good. Got the extra attack in. And so far, so good. We're in the third round now. Let's see how I do. There's going to be a couple of tanks, essentially. Asajj, and then she has some backup. Very, very tanky initiates. And then there's a Talia. And, of course, Talia's a boss and Asajj is a boss. So the first thing I'll do is I'll try and speed everybody down. I get a bonus attack. Let's put some red over their head. And let's go ahead and attack Asajj. What? That was hardly anything. That's terrible. And I can taunt next round. So let's go ahead and throw out that stun. This is why I did it in round 1 and not 3. Let's do his double, 21,000. That's pretty good. Let's start going after this initiate. Start taking out some of these add-on characters. Let's taunt. And like I said, I wasn't too worried about the Night Sisters on this round, but you know we're going to be doing 4 rounds and it's going to get progressively harder. Man, his turn meter gain's so crazy. We already got to use his stun once, and we're already using it again in this round alone. And I love when they're stunned. No worries about them fighting back. And that's all she wrote for that round. So now I can farm that as much as I need. There's not a whole lot on that first node that you really need to farm, though. Not often, anyway. It's not a very needed node, let's say. This next one is, though. This particular one is the one that I'm looking for. So unlocking this is going to become critical for me. But, of course, these are always hard, and it's like everybody in the world needs them. I mean, look at this. There's, like, 30 characters from top of the line, gear 10, all the way down to, you know, gear 3 needs these droid collars. And, of course, these are pretty popular. It looks like it's got a couple of bosses again, and Old Daka will be a boss, and it's still the Night Sister theme. So let's go ahead and continue on. And I wouldn't mind bringing my own... Wow, look at that. Almost 11,000 on that Night Sister. That's crazy. Just don't see the benefit. I'm going to go ahead and use Count Dooku. He's super annoying, so maybe he'll help me out with all of his counters. Alright, we're probably going to have a very similar battle that we had last time, so let's go ahead and use the same strategy. And we're just going to work through these individuals. Oh, that was nice. Anytime you can one-hit wonder somebody, that's always fun. All right, round 1 in the books, going to round 2. That's 10,000 damage between the 2 hits. And I love that he gets to shoot twice a lot of the time. And I know that they make these levels a little easier than the hard ones, of course, so that way you can beat them, so you can farm them. But they definitely have made these characters tankier, meaning they need to take about between 40 to 80,000 damage to be finished off, and that's quite a bit of damage for sure. We'll go ahead and let them focus on our tank, and I'm just going to take out old Daka. And my Darth Vader is kind of underwhelming. I would really like to rework his mods, and definitely can't wait to get the last couple of shards. I'm down to needing about 25 more. Shoot twice, come on, yeah. He gets a lot of bonus attacks, which I like. And we'll just finish you off. And let's re-stun these. That was one of the reasons why old Daka was so critically important early on when I was doing this, was because I didn't have the stuns. I didn't have this capability with Emperor Palpatine, and stuns really are the reason why I was able to get through the dark side missions. And so I would recommend, if you're going to develop a couple of characters to do the dark side missions and you're free to play, I would recommend you doing old Daka and doing Royal Guard. Those two can be farmed and take a little bit of time, but they can definitely help you finish the entire dark side lights, or the dark side missions, up to level 8, as I use them to complete all of the level 8. So there we go, there's the next one. And now it looks like we're going to start going against some harder levels. It looks like we're going to level 83. It's Biggs and Wedge, and then some other Rebel characters. And we're getting into the Mark 10s. I do need more of these, so this is a spot I need to farm. And I need more of these, so that is good. And you always need these, as well as, of course, the credits and stuff like that. So really the one I need the most of right here is this, to get my Sun Fac completely maxed out. Let's go ahead and battle through this one and see how hard it is. Now I know we're going against Wedge and Biggs, and so I need to take as many turns as possible. So I'm going to do Captain Phasma. She's a phenomenal leader, and she's great for free-to-play characters. If you cannot get your Emperor Palpatine, he's definitely difficult to get, and the event only comes around once in a while. So I would definitely recommend Captain Phasma, as she is fantastic. And that's all she wrote for the first round. Let's go to the second round and see what I've got for individuals. Let's start in the back. It's okay. Again, I've seen Darth Vader hit for so much more online. Definitely need to give him some love when I finally get him to 7-star. All right. I'd be lying if I said this didn't make me nervous. Wedge and Biggs, game created, definitely are gonna freak me out a little bit. So Biggs can get evasion up, and so my suggestion is to shock him first. Even if I had the stun, I would shock, because it's going to prevent him from getting that evasion up. And then I'm going to go ahead and try and speed everybody down. And I know the add-ons, the add characters are dangerous. They do a lot of damage. But I definitely want to try to take out Wedge and Biggs first, because of the amount of damage that they're capable of doing. And that is why Sun Fac's so important. He puts that critical chance down, which is super important. Advantage up, we can get through that armor, which is nice, as well as getting all that extra turn meter. There's more turn meter. We're just going to go through all these tanks. And that rebel soldier's a tank. Interesting. Wasn't aware of what was going to be what here in this level. So let's do a double swackaroo. That's good. Darth Vader gets the red over their head, so that's always good. Although it doesn't matter, they're dead before those damage over times get to take effect. Alright, so we went through that. Decent. And for this video, we're going to do one more. Since there's 8, we'll do 4 and 4. And this next level, you can see there's a couple of bosses at the end, and there's level 83 as well, with some more of those rebel tanks, rebel soldiers that'll be tanks. This you can farm here. Now, this one is not as needed by as many characters, but it's definitely something you're going to have to be able to farm. So that is important. And then, of course, this is needed by lots of characters. I do have 75, so I'm not too concerned about that. And then the comlink salvage is not needed by as many, but I don't have that much. So it is going to be nice to be able to get that as a subsequent reward. So let's go ahead and do this last battle and see what it is that we are going to get. And what do I want to bring with me? And I guess we're just going to stick with Captain Phasma. May seem lazy, but she's excellent as a leader. She really is. And when you bring them in, you get their leadership abilities. So all right, let's start with the stun since it's round 1. Then we'll pick on the individual who is not stunned. There we go. Double shot. Boom. Not double shot, but double, whatever it's called. It's super powerful hit. Hits for like 20,000 every time or more. Oh, he dodged. Okay. That happens. So far, Emperor Palpatine has made this a relatively easy walkthrough, but the First Order TIE Pilot is very, very impressive. If you get to the point where you can start farming him, he is kind of a slow and arduous farm. He is definitely worth it. So I'm saying Han Solo is probably going to be the biggest problem over here. So let's go ahead and try and get these guys stunned. And this guy's going to taunt. So let's get that. I was hoping that would happen. So that way they can't taunt. I don't want them to be able to taunt. There we go. Took him out and take him out with the double tap. And I think Rebel Officer, I think Rebel Soldier's the one that taunts. So we're going to go for him next. And he already gets to use his stun again. Absolutely amazing. Let's go for the one that's not stunned. There's a double tap. He's got ability block. He's in pretty bad shape. Chewie's not doing so well. And that's all she wrote. So there you go. That is what you will face on those 4 levels. That is what you can unlock as far as gear. So you can see kind of what you'll need to bring in. Yes, they're pretty stout and tanky, but they've made it doable. They've made it definitely something that you can get through. If you're going to be a level 85, you probably almost guaranteed will have a team that's worthy of walking through these. By the time you have to, by the time you get to level 85 to unlock this level 9. The next video is going to go over these next 4 nodes, and it looks like there's going to be some Jedi and Admiral Akbar. So I'm pretty excited about that. As always, have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. Keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.